What's up, what's up, what's up? This is your girl, Red Diamond, Talk is Tea, coming to you live with just a little evening conversation. So today I found out on my journey that I have to start chemotherapy. Ooh, I wish I could add like a scary music noise right there, like or whatnot. But as you guys know, both of my parents are deceased and they passed away from cancer. My mother had ovarian cancer and my father had liver cancer. I'm starting chemotherapy on my quest to combat rheumatoid arthritis. And pretty much when you have any type of pain levels in your body, they look it up by what's called a SED rate, CED, and then I think it's a CRP rate. So your SED rate is like how much inflammation's in your body, and then your CRP rate is how well your body handles the information. Well, my number for my SED rate is 43, which is extremely high. And then my CRP rate is 1.6, which is also extremely high, saying that, hey, your body is pretty much like fighting itself at this point. So it's like your white blood cells and your red blood cells, they're going to war with each other, and they have to do something to get them to play fair so that way they can get in there and treat it. I'll be doing it once a week, same time every week, every Thursday. So I was just, in my journey, it's been like a long journey, and I have run into hellacious doctors. I have run into like monsters, and every step of the way, I'm sharing it with you guys so that way, if you find yourself relating to this or you find yourself in these situations, you can ask questions and know that somebody has been through the journey with you. I had a doctor from Hades. She pretty much had never had an autoimmune patient. I didn't even know I had autoimmune for real at that time. And she used the opportunity to experiment on me. Pretty much she would go to Google and say, oh, well, what's this for this? And she would say, oh, well, we're going to try it. Like, I'm not a diabetic, but she had me on metformin. And anybody that has ever tried metformin knows that it will cause like massive diarrhea. Like, y'all drinking that ISO tea and all that stuff, that boo-boo tea, you need to boo-boo off like 10, 15 pounds. Go on to one of your diabetic friends and get one of them 500 milligram metformins. You'll be done lost them 10 pounds by the morning. You'll be clean enough to do a colonic, child. A colonoscopy, I'm sorry. She had put testosterone in my body. She had put bad knee injections within my knees. She had given me Lyrica and gabapentin. She just constantly increased the amount of Percocet that I took. She just added more drugs. By the time that I had walked away from her as a physician, I was almost on 11 different drugs, and they were steadily increasing. And the day that I had made up in my mind that I wasn't going to go back to her is when she looked me in my face, because I was telling her, like, yo, you're treating me for fibromyalgia, and I don't have any of the symptoms for fibromyalgia. Like, I think we're kind of off the beaten path. And she looked me in my face and she said, well, you're going to degenerate and it's going to happen soon. So you need to be doing something. And at that moment, I knew that I didn't have a doctor that was interested in saving my life. I didn't have a doctor that was invested in me feeling well. I had a doctor that was interested in writing prescriptions, testing medications on me, making me her case study. And it all hit the fan pretty much when her nurse had like a mental breakdown at the office and was saying, hey, she's just using you guys to write prescriptions. She's making you guys get this testosterone so you'll have to pay her cash, and she gets cash for this, and the practice is failing. So I had found out that I was like a total experiment with a doctor that I had like really trusted. And I knew it was time to walk away when I was literally sitting in front of her doctor's office with a pistol ready to go light into all their ass, because I had felt like she had played with my life. I mean, this lady, under her care, I had lost my ability to walk for a short time. I was depressed. I had extreme anxiety. And I mean, no matter what she prescribed me, the pain had never went away. Well, I finally went to an emergency room, and the doctor was like, well, let me try this, and this test on you, which was my SED rate, and he did a rheumatoid test. He did all kind of tests, and he came back with answers. And he made a phone call to his doctor friend, and he was like, yo, I need you to see her. You know, she's really got some stuff jumping off, and I think it's bad. I need you, work with her. So right at that time, the pandemic hit. And so it wasn't no going to anybody's doctor's office because, we was all scared. Everybody, it was the height of everybody dying. They didn't have any control over anything. But this doctor still took the time to see me, even though I couldn't physically go into her office. Like, she literally did my first appointment over the phone. And so she had given me a steroid to tide me over to stop the pain long enough so I could get out the bed and walk, or try to walk, so that way I could try to comb my own hair or wipe myself after using the bathroom, and until I had gotten an appointment with her. And so pretty much I have been with this doctor. We're still fairly new, but she was speaking life into me. She's like, this is how we're going to get you out of this situation. You're a young woman. This is how we're going to fight for your health. This is how we're going to get your power back. And just to have someone speak so much life and so much hope, I'm like, okay, so all I got to do is do these chemotherapy treatments for 4 weeks, and they're going to see where I'm at. And then from then, I'll be just on maintenance medication once every few months, and I'll have my quality of life back. And I am overjoyed by that. Yes, chemotherapy sounds scary when you first hear it. Everybody's like, oh man. But if you have been through the most recent hell that I've been through, medically, child, them little 4 weeks ain't nothing. Them 4 weeks gonna pass regardless. It just depends how you spend the 4 weeks, And can you imagine, like, you're taking testosterone thinking that this doctor has told you that this is what's gonna help make you better, and you're like, okay, I trust you. I'll take it. I'm going to take the medicine, whatever. And then you go get a second opinion, and that doctor's like, why in the world would you be taking testosterone? Or even with my knees, she's telling me I have these horrible knees. My knees are this. My knees are doing this because of this, that, and the other. I go to one of the most well-renowned doctor's offices in the state of Georgia, and this man looks at me and says, you have perfectly good knees. Why did she do that? The picture he had shown me of my knees was not the picture that the doctor who was putting these injections in my knees had shown me. Completely different. So imagine mentally, I was like all over the place. I didn't know who to believe, who to trust. I began to get depressed. I was sad. And mental health is very important. Like, mental health during any type of physical journey is very important. And you have to be mindful of your mindset and where you are mentally because I can see after battling extreme pain and nobody believing you and people wanting to treat you like a drug addict and all kind of stuff, how people have ended up killing themselves because they never saw a way out. They never saw the light of day. They felt like their mind was messed with. They went through different stages of psychosis. And I thank God that that wasn't my story. I'm grateful for my story. And I'm going to go into more details as things unfold. As I start my journey with this chemo, I want to keep you guys abreast. I want to talk about my weight loss, how I lost 140 pounds. I want to talk about the things that I eat and how that has made a difference. So this is just my segue into a part of what we'll be talking about, not only on my podcast, but also on my YouTube channel, and just kind of bringing you guys into my journey and letting you know that you're talking to somebody that's a real human being that has really gone through some things. So I look forward to it. It's not a long podcast. This is just a glimpse of what is to come, but I thank you guys for being an ear. Remember to always be kind to one another, to love one another, to be that shining light, to be that hello when you walk into the room, because you never know, that may be somebody's only hello, and that there is a bright side to everything. Trouble don't last always. It sure does not. And you guys can always join me on YouTube. I am Talk is Tea on YouTube. I have a ton of good videos coming up. I do all kind of stuff from mukbangs to, I don't know, I might feel like doing stand-up comedy one day. Who knows? But definitely, I welcome you to my journey. Thank you guys for speaking with me this evening. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon. Bye.